Hello everybody, how are you? My name is Chef Rob, my son Chris is here, and we're from Long Island, and it's a beautiful day out, so thank you for coming inside for about an hour and enjoying this. All the libraries out there, thank you. All the patrons that are watching, thank you. Fuji Apple Cinnamon French Toast Casserole. It's really delicious, but you got to put it together today and then enjoy it for Sunday brunch, right? It'll be really good. We're going to use a whole bunch of apples here today because it's apple season. There's so many new ones every year, so check them out. I like to buy a bunch of them, just try them out, and then of course you forget which one was which, right? So I am just going to take some sourdough bread, about a pound loaf of sourdough bread. And you could use a French bread if you wanted to. I'm just going to give this a quick spray just so it doesn't stick to this. And if anybody has any questions, comments, please let us know. We love them.
Joyce said, I don't have any sound. Any suggestions? Well, if I give you a suggestion, you won't be able to hear it, so I'll type it in the chat. But if someone actually wants to comment and just say to check the bottom right of the screen, the sound button should say that it's working and that it's fully on. So.
Okay, so everybody, I am just going to open up this bread and just cube it and just put it right into this casserole dish. About a 9 by 13 dish for this one here. And you could serve 8, 9, 10, up to 12 people. Depends on the portion size you want to give, okay? So I got this really good serrated bread knife, and look at that. It's really, really good. The brand, it's called Ludwig Chef. I used to get it from a man that used to come into the restaurant I used to work at, and he would sell knives, and his daughter still sells them, so you could check them out. I think she's out of Florida now, if I remember right. So I'm just going to put this over here, and then just cut this into little cubes and put it right into the casserole dish. And then we're going to cut up some apples. So this is our first fall apple festival. Almost a year that we are doing these festivals. December will be our 1-year anniversary for that. Unbelievable, right? I hope everybody out there is doing good and can enjoy this beautiful day. Okay, so about a pound you want to have. I need a little bit more than this. Then I'm going to cut up some apples. So you do want this to soak overnight. Really, really important. And then we're going to make the streusel topping just so you can see exactly how to make it. We're going to make the mixture with all the vanilla, the cinnamon, the apple pie spice, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm going to put that over there because this will be enough bread. And then we're going to cut up the apples. Now, I always get the question, can you use the skin? It depends on the type of apple you are using, because some of the apples, like a Granny Smith, has a very tough skin, so those I wouldn't use. This is Fuji Apple, has a very thin skin, so I think that would be fine. Go ahead, Chris.
We have a few comments.
Sure.
Kirsten said, hi, Chef Rob.
Hello, Kirsten.
Let's see. Rebecca said, hi from the Slater Library in Jewett City, Connecticut.
Hello, Rebecca.
And the Monmouth County Library said, hello, Chef Rob and Chris from the Monmouth County Library in beautiful Manalapan, New Jersey. So many orchards in our community for apple picking.
Maybe I can get there before it's over, the apple picking. You guys are wonderful. I hope you are all good. So I'm just going to cube these apples as well. 2 large ones, 3 medium, maybe 4 small. I consider these pretty small, so I am going to put the 4 in here.
They said we would so love to see you.
Thank you. I would so love to just walk into your library and say, surprise, I am here. We will do it. We will. We have so many different wonderful libraries from all over the country doing it, and thank you so much. Make sure you wash the apples really good, okay? They usually have like a little bit of a powdery feeling on the outside, so you want to make sure you get that off and just really towel dry it. Okay. So put all these apples right in here. Got to use 8 eggs, so thank God eggs aren't too expensive. They have gone up in price, but then again, what has not gone up in price, right?
Vanilla extract.
Vanilla, you're right,
I've
Chris.
learned from your classes.
Chris
yeah.
has been paying attention. Here's a small apple. I think this is actually good right here. So the Fuji apples, really good for this. They're a crisp, very juicy apple, and it has a sugary, sweet flavor inside. Love eating these apples. Honey Crisp, another favorite. Honey Crisp can be as high as like $3 a pound. I did see Granny Smith's the other day, $2.69 a pound at one store. Of course, I left them there. I ended up getting some Ginger Golds that are nice local ones, and they were, I think they were 99 a pound just about. Okay, you know what? I am going with the 4th apple. I do feel like I do need it. Then we're gonna break these eggs up and make the mixture for it.
Yeah.
Save these. You can eat these later, right? Nibble on them after the class. At least I can, right?
Gail said, I have contacted the Rockville Center Library, and they said they thought the recipes would be posted, have not yet been able to find them on either their home site or their Facebook page. I need the recipes. If you need the recipes and your library couldn't provide it to you, you could go onto our Facebook page, which we posted 2 times this week, earlier today, and I believe on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to find them on there.
Okay, so everything, make sure it's mixed really good. Press it towards the bottom here, and then get yourself a large bowl. And you're gonna have to break 8 eggs, okay? How to check for the eggs? Put them in some water, and if they stay at the bottom, they're very fresh. If they start bouncing and dancing a little bit, they're getting old, but they are very safe to eat. If they come to the top, throw them out. It's a rotten egg, right? Now, this, I use a combination of whole milk or the 2% milk, whatever you may have in the house, okay, and a little bit of heavy cream. The heavy cream, just the half cup, really does matter in this. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar, some brown sugar, some vanilla, and some cinnamon. Cinnamon and apples, just, of course, they go so good together. I think this is the most eggs that I ever broke in our food festivals, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris and I were talking today earlier, and we were saying, you know, I always have so many electric cords going so many different ways. And I said, today's the first class I have none. But I actually did put one together just to kind of show you how to kind of get the nuts for the next dish, like a little toasty and that. So I'm just going to beat these eggs up really well. And then you want 2 cups. I am using the whole milk. 2 cups of whole milk in here. And then a half cup heavy cream. Then you're going to use some sugar. You're going to use a half cup of the white sugar. Put that right in there. And then you want a 1/4 cup. Yes, believe it or not packed sugar. Okay, packed sugar is when you're baking. This isn't baking, so it's just very loose, but you want a 1/4 cup. Okay, just drop that right in there. 2 teaspoons of the pure vanilla extract. Almond, I think, would be also really good with this too, but I do like the vanilla better. Right there. And then 1½ teaspoons of the ground cinnamon. And then we want to whisk this really good. And we're just going to pour this all over it. Now, sometimes you'll get an idea. I usually don't weigh out the bread, so I'm looking at this and I'm saying I'm going to cut up the rest of the bread because I think this amount of mixture is going to absorb it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is refrigerate this, and we want this to stay at least overnight because it'll be perfect for Sunday morning, right, Chris?
Yes.
I have a pumpkin one. Got to do a pumpkin one time. So let me just cut up this bread right here. If anybody has any questions or comments, please let us know. And our next food festival will be October 23rd, a Saturday, and that one will be at 3 o'clock as well. The only one with a different time will be our December 11th one, that is at 1 o'clock. And we just figured people are baking along with us. They have the whole day to kind of make it a baking day. So we've been doing some in-house classes. We've been doing some virtual, so a combination nowadays. And it's been going really well both ways. Okay, I'm just going to put this right here. Now I am just going to pour this right on top. Just want to make sure all those flavors are blended really good together. And then I'm just going to seal this really good. Now when you bake this, you're going to bake this in a 350 oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then when it is done, you are just going to take this streusel topping that we're going to make in a few minutes, and you're going to put it on top of it for 5 minutes back in the oven, and it's all ready to go. And then before you enjoy it, just put on a little drizzle of maple syrup, and it's so good. This is really good. Okay, so now I am just going to take these gloves and I'm just going to kind of press this down because I want all of the bread to kind of absorb this liquid. We are going to a German festival today in Riverhead later on. I don't know if they've ever had that one, so we are going to try that one out. Love German food. Okay, just press that down really good. Okay, let this sit overnight. When you bake it tomorrow, 350, 35 to 40 minutes, and then you are going to put the streusel topping on here. When you put the streusel topping on, it just needs to go back in the oven for 5 minutes. Just needs to kind of just melt right into the French toast, and that's when you drizzle the maple syrup on it. I'm going to make the streusel topping now just so you see how to make it. Go ahead, Chris.
Janice said, just got on. Are these recipes available and where? Yes, you can either get them on your library's Facebook page or website, or you can contact them, or if they don't have them or they can't provide it to you, you can go on our Facebook page, and we posted it 2 times this week. So you should be able to get it from there.
Chris is really good. He did it 2 times. Okay, see how this is? Just take something, no air kind of gets through because God forbid you have some garlic or onion, the flavor gets through to it. You don't want to taste that with an apple French toast. So I'm going to leave that there right now while I make the streusel topping. So we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of flour. And I have that all measured out right here. Just all-purpose flour. That is perfect. You want 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Put that in there. This one, the light or the dark brown sugar would be fine. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Then we need some apple pie spice, okay? A lot of times I don't use a lot of it, so what I said, I'm gonna make it. So everybody has a little different recipe. I'm gonna tell you the balance that I put into mine. And what it is, it's 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. It's 1.5 teaspoons of the ground nutmeg, and then it's 1 teaspoon of allspice. Anybody needs that later, I'll go over that. So I'm just mixing this all up right here. Okay, and it's 1.5 teaspoons worth right in here. Just gonna mix this up really well. Just kind of break up that brown sugar. And then I'm just gonna take 1 full stick of butter. And I'm just gonna kind of make a crumble topping for it. Now you could take a pastry cutter to this if you like, or you can just kind of cube it, or you can kind of grate it right in if it's kind of a frozen butter. Don't forget to just drizzle just a little bit of maple syrup on here though, because that is the best. Last year we did a French toast casserole. Had like a pecan streusel topping, and it should still be out there at some of the libraries' websites. So check that out. Go to some of the libraries that are on here today. I know they have a lot of my YouTube videos. So let's just put this right in here. And now what I'm going to do is just kind of just go like this. Like I said, you can use a pastry cutter, or you can just kind of go in with your hands. If you want to use a little mini food processor, that would be fine as well. Okay. This goes in a 9 by 13 casserole dish. Just give it a little spray. And 8 to 12 people, I would say you would get out of it. Depends what you're serving with it too. I would say since there's so much bread in that, you want something a little bit light. Nice warm glass of cider would be perfect. So many different varieties of apple cider out there now. It's unbelievable. The Honeycrisp apple cider. I've seen a Gala apple cider. Caramel apple cider. The marketing out there for this stuff is unbelievable. Hey, but we buy it, right? We just see a word and we say, it's ours. We're going to get it. In a minute, we are going to make an apple arugula walnut salad, and it has blue cheese and cranberries. One of the first salads I ever did in person at the libraries. Okay, so this is just about done. So I can just really save this for tomorrow. Gonna wrap it really good, put it in the refrigerator. After this is done baking, I'm just gonna sprinkle it right on top here. What you do is just take this, sprinkle it throughout the whole dish here. It's gonna bake right into it. It only takes like 5 minutes. That's really it. So this is the way it should look. Okay. So you should be able to kind of go like that to it, but it should be able to kind of break up into these little clumps. Okay. So I hope you make this, and please let me know. I do read my Facebook and that. I do see those. I know some of you do email me and that. So, you know, always, please, love to hear from you. So let's slide over, Chris, right?
Yes.
So one of the things I always do with nuts, I either put them in the oven first, or I put them in a little pan, just like this. Turn on my burner, and for a few minutes, I just want to get a little heat on them. And it actually just becomes a little toasty. And what it does, it brings out the nut flavor. So do this with almonds, pistachios, walnuts, pecans, anything like that. When you're done with these, don't put them in your pantry, put them in the freezer. Okay, so whenever you're ready to have a salad or you're ready to bake, just take them right out. For baking, you just throw them right in the batter. For a salad, maybe you just warm them up again, or just let them at least get to room temperature, but it will bring out the nut flavor. Okay, so I am using some baby arugula. This baby arugula is really, really good. This is some local baby arugula over from the North Fork. Has a nice little peppery taste to it, so that's really good. Go ahead, Chris.
Eileen asks, do you add butter to the pan when toasting the nuts?
I don't, because I'm basically just, it's strictly the pan and the nuts here. If I'm doing it in the oven, I will put it on a parchment paper or a silicone baking mat in the oven about 350 for about 10 minutes. Here on this burner, maybe 5 minutes, and every once in a while I just kind of go just like that. And you just really start smelling the nuts. It's really good. So, what I'm going to add to this salad, some Granny Smith apples. This salad would serve 4, and you don't have to stick with a Granny Smith, but I think a Granny Smith up against the peppery arugula is really good. So I'm just going to cut this into little chunks. And we actually have a Zoom class coming up, and that one is in October 16th on Zoom. So check your library to see if it has it. If not, I will post them on my Facebook page. Maybe tomorrow we can get that up, Chris.
Sounds good.
And so if any libraries have any spaces left, you can call them to get on the Zoom. It's on October 16th. It's at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. 2 of the same classes, okay? So a little bit fresh apple on here. Pears would be good too.
William X, will the nuts toast up just as well in a non-stick pan?
Not absolutely. It would be just fine, yeah? Thank you for reminding me. I didn't want them to get away. But as I am smelling it, that they are getting nice and toasty, okay? I'm going to put on some dried cranberries. Dried cranberries, different from the craisins. Craisins are infused with a grape juice. It has more sugar, more artificial flavor. So whenever you can get the dried cranberries, kind of go to the produce aisle. They have them in their own little containers. They are so much better than the craisins. Sorry to the craisin company. And just sprinkle them right on here just like that. Okay. And I know not everybody's a Gorgonzola blue cheese fan, so if you want to add goat cheese, you want to add a little feta cheese to this, it would be fine. Okay. So I'm just going to keep moving these around. Actually, they're just about done too. It's that quick, and it just gives you that much flavor. Take some really good blue cheese. Sprinkle that right on top. And then, boy, when I go to the libraries and I make this salad, I cook the bacon at the library. It's unbelievable. So if we have a class only half full, what happens is it gets full really quick because people smell the bacon and they just kind of swarm in. So it's a good trick to get them to come to the library or come right downstairs where we're cooking. So I'm going to let these cool here for a second. Go ahead, Chris.
Let's see. Diane X, can I substitute the goji berries?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fine. Dried cherries in there is really good, okay? If you want just raisins in there, the golden raisins, they're fine too. Okay. So at the end, I will put these walnuts on there. I just want it to cool just a little bit. I'm going to make a little bit of dressing. So I want to use 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is a really good, simple dressing. Gonna add some orange zest. Just have one of these microplanes, just like this. Ready?
Darlene said that salad looks so good.
Thank you, Darlene. Where are you from, Darlene? And are you new to doing this class? Because I don't remember hearing a Darlene out there. Have you?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I could be totally wrong. There's a lot of names out there for us. Okay, so 1 teaspoon orange zest.
Emily X, can I make it with baby spinach?
Baby, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just going to put this right over here. I'm going to squeeze in some fresh orange juice. So I want about 2 tablespoons of orange juice.
William said, wish we could all come over and eat this food afterwards.
You know, I somewhat wish the same thing because it is a lot. So 2 tablespoons fresh orange juice, just like this. And then we're going to add in some maple syrup. Make sure you use the pure maple syrup. So I'm going to add about 2.5 tablespoons maple syrup. And then I'm just going to leave this right in here because this is going to be perfect for tomorrow for that French toast casserole. So we don't have to eat that one today at least, Chris, right? I'm going to put in a little bit of kosher salt. So about a teaspoon of kosher salt. A little fresh ground black pepper. Two-thirds of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then I have been adding in a little bit of Dijon mustard. So a little bit of Dijon mustard in here really kind of gives it a nice zing to it against the citrus and that.
Darlene said East Islip. I have been to several of your programs in person, Zoom, and Facebook Live. I don't say too much, LOL.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're watching. Thank you so much. So this here is the dressing for it. Put on about half. Leave the other half on the side. And now I'm just going to take some of the toasted nuts. You have a great library, the East Islip Public Library. I think I'm coming there in person early November. I think it might be so early November. I think it's November 1st, Chris.
Sounds good.
So some of these toasted nuts right on top here. And now a little bit of crispy bacon. I'm just going to get... The house smelled like bacon this morning. Did you smell it, Chris?
Well, you were baking the next dish, so.
Oh, that took over?
Yeah.
Oh, the apple pie donut muffins really took over. And then just sprinkle some bacon right on here.
Darlene said, "Oh, good, thank you."
You're welcome. And we are going to do a turkey bolognese with orchette pasta. So please check it out. And this is our apple arugula walnut salad with blueberries and cranberries. And I always like to add more cranberries to the top, make it really look good. So before we go over and do our apple pie donut muffins, if anybody has any questions or comments on any of these dishes, please let me know. Okay. If not, I hope you make these dishes. The next apple pie donut muffins. The reason I call it donut muffins, it has a donut texture to it, but a lot of people don't have a donut pan. They have usually the muffin pan, so that will make about 12 to 16 muffins, okay? Probably about 12 donuts, depending on how deep the pan is, okay? So let's go over there. We're going to make that, and
Emily said yummy salad.
Thank you, Emily. You know, Emily, I want to say I made that for you a long time ago. It was when I did the harvest pumpkin bread at your library. Do you remember that? You made the pumpkin bread. You, your husband, your son. I think you did.
Susan X, please go over your apple pie spice.
Apple pie spice, sure. It's 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. It's 1.5 teaspoons of the ground nutmeg. And 1 teaspoon of allspice. Now, if you Google an apple pie spice, okay, you're going to see some with ginger, cardamom in there. So there's so many different spices and combinations out there. But I found this one to be really good, to go really well, especially with the French toast casserole. So for this, I want to preheat my oven to 375, the apple pie donut muffins.
She said thank you.
You are welcome. I am just going to take little muffin liners first. Okay, put them right in this pan here. Okay, can you just spray it when you not use the liners? Absolutely. But it does make cleanup so much easier. And there's a lot of cleanup after this. I know you're all looking, you're all saying, wow. They're saying you're lucky and you're not lucky because you get to eat it, but then you get to clean it up too. Right?
He cleans up the dishes. I'll clean up the food it left over.
Yeah, and then what are we doing? We're going to the German festival tonight, right?
Yeah.
And what are we going to have? German food. Oh my God. I'm going to walk there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a large bowl, and I want to use 2 1/4 cups of flour.
Emily said, I have a donut pan.
Emily, you are unbelievable. So yes, go with the donuts because they're perfect. So 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Here, and now my 1/4 cup. Then you're going to put in some baking soda. Baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Just make sure it's nice and level. You want a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you're just going to mix that around really good. That's perfect. Okay, so we have our dry ingredients all ready. We have our muffin pan with our liners. I may need a few more liners, so I have that ready just in case. Okay. I'm just going to take one egg. I have a lot of eggs for this class.
Yeah.
So one egg.
I think we should start investing in chickens.
We should.
Yeah.
And then I want 1 cup of buttermilk. Always go buy the buttermilk yourself. Okay, don't make it. It doesn't have that same consistency. Look at the richness inside this buttermilk, okay? This is true buttermilk, so really buy it. There's so many uses for it. Make some buttermilk pancakes. Make this again. Because when you make these muffins, you're going to make this recipe again, I promise you. A little bit of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon pure vanilla extract. I have 1 stick of butter, all melted. So I'm just going to pour that right in here.
Heather X, what was the allspice amount again, please?
Okay, so it's the apple pie spice, actually. Okay, the apple pie, to make your own apple pie spice instead of going to buy that little one at the store for $5. If you have 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of allspice, and that will make it into apple pie spice. Again, there's so many different recipes out there, but I find that a really nice combination.
Gail X, doesn't matter if you use regular or light buttermilk?
Most of the time, probably 99%, whenever you go to the supermarket now, it is the light buttermilk now. They started doing that years ago when the low-fat craze came around. Everybody was watching their cholesterol. You know, the thing nobody does anymore, watch their cholesterol. So, no, the light, you saw how rich and thick it was. That is perfect, okay? Friendship brand is really, really good, too.
Heather said thank you.
You're welcome.
The Monmouth County Library X, do you ever use a powdered buttermilk? I've used it for bread making with no problem.
I have used that, and definitely I feel that is better than making your own with the 1 cup of milk and then a tablespoon of either lemon or white vinegar. But that's the second best. There's nothing like the real richness of this one here.
William X, do you have a favorite brand of vanilla extract?
If you can get anyone from like the Madagascar, if it says Madagascar on the bottle, that is the best. That is definitely the best. So really search it. You can probably get it online as well. Costco's is pretty good too. Pretty good price. You know, it's about $15 now, I think, for a 16 ounces. So I'm actually going to take 1.5 cups of brown sugar.
The Monmouth County Library said thank you, Chef.
You are so welcome. So a 1/2 cup and then 1 full cup brown sugar. Make sure this is packed because this is now baking. Okay, so put that right in there. This recipe has a lot of brown sugar in there, but it makes a lot, so don't let it scare you. Please use the full amount. So just kind of break this all up. Don't even need an electric mixer for it. If you got a whisk, that's perfect. But make sure you get any of those little brown sugar clumps out of here. Whisk it really good. Go ahead, Chris.
Emily said, I'm going to tell Jeffrey to make this tomorrow because now he just made the pizza cookie.
Oh, how great. That's great.
And Joyce said Lidl had the cheapest eggs, 129 dozen extra large.
$1.29?
Oh, I guess so.
$1.29.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, you know, Lidl, I have seen, every day the price is up, a little bit down, up high. I have seen them at Lidl for as cheap as 59 cents a dozen, okay? I did go to the one that's on Long Island, there's a bunch of them, and each Lidl is, and as Costco's, as BJ's, all the different places, depends where you live, depends what they charge you, okay? And that is so true. So there's certain ones that I just don't go to, but certain ones that you just know you're going to get good deals. So Lidl, the little salt container, the pound one, 36 cents. How do you beat that? Unbelievable. So I'm just going to take the wet ingredients right here, and I'm going to add it to the dry and mix it in really good. Chris says we have a question.
Yes, our biggest fan is on here, Lacey.
Lacey, how are you?
She said, "Happy Saturday from your little friend Lacey. I love apples."
Oh, Lacey, I hope you make this one. Make this with Mom. Lacey was in our virtual summer camp all summer. It was great. We had a really good time. And Lacey, I was at your library yesterday. I was there. I'm going to be there next Wednesday, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
I believe next month is when they're going to the class, right? In person?
I think that's
right. What they said, yeah. Heather said, on the recipe for the apple pie spice, it says 1.5, but doesn't say whether it's tablespoons or teaspoons.
Okay, teaspoons.
And
sorry about that.
Emily said, West Babylon Lidl is usually around 52 cents a dozen for large eggs and around 80 cents for 18 large eggs.
They are one of the cheapest ones I see all over Long Island. Riverhead is pretty good too. But just know the prices have been steadily going up. So I think if you go there today, I do think they're going to be up there because I bought them at Lidl the other day, a dozen, and it was around the 168 because it was going up. But better than the regular supermarket.
Krista and Lacey said we will.
Oh, how great. That's great. I am just going to mix this in. I don't want to overmix the batter. Just get it to where it is combined.
Emily said it definitely changes from week to week.
Yes, it's unbelievable the prices, how they change. And now I just want to take one really large apple, 2 small ones, anything like that. I'm just going to peel this. And then I'm just going to dice this up really small. Now this apple that I'm using, this is a ginger gold. So these are one of the upstate apples that you can get. Most of the time you can find them right now. It's a September apple. They're usually about 99 cents a pound. And I've been having one of these a night. Right, Chris? Actually,
yes.
Last night I had 2.
You did.
You know, apples really fill you up too. And yeah, I had 2 last night. I was like, wow, I don't need no ice cream tonight. Those are good things, a lot less calories.
Let's see.
So I'm just peeling this. I'm just going to cut this into little chunks and fold it right into the batter.
Emily said last night I went to the new one in Shirley and they had eggs 18 for 80 cents.
Oh.
Then Emily said, does it matter which type of apple?
No, use your preference. My thinking on this is I want something a little bit that has a little tartness to it because there's a lot of sugar in here. So I like a Granny Smith, the Ginger Gold, Honeycrisp, anything like that would be perfect. Something that's got a little bit of tartness to it. The Pink Lady apples are really good. You can use those. Anybody ever tried the lemonade apples? I think they're more an October apple. And then there's also an apple called Crispin. That was when Best Market was on Long Island. They're not here any longer, but they used to get them from upstate. It was called Crispin. It was a huge apple, and I think it was the best eating apple I ever had.
And she said thank you.
You are welcome. So this is a pretty large apple. So I am just going to drop this in here and just kind of fold it in. And this makes really large muffins or donuts. And then we're going to make a crumb streusel topping for this. And you just drop this into either a sprayed pan or a little bit with the liners in it. Just have about 16 ready, but sometimes a dozen will do it. Depends if you add another apple, if you stretch it out a little bit. Okay. But the brown sugar in this really makes it good. So I'm going to bring over my pan here. And then I'm just gonna start dropping some of this batter in here. Fill it 3/4 to maybe even a touch higher. It's not gonna go over, it's just gonna get higher. These freeze really, really well. And then in November, we have a Thanksgiving food festival. So if you want some different ideas for Thanksgiving, please watch that. It's on November 20th. And that one will be at 3 o'clock. Before we go, I can give you the menus as well, too.
Aunt Prudy said also yummy.
Thank you so much. How are you, Aunt Prudy? And Prudy is in North Carolina. Is it still hot there? Probably it's pretty hot because it's a warm day here too. What is it, about 80 here?
I think so, somewhere around there.
Something like that. Just drop this all in here. This, I have my oven preheated to 375. And this will take about 25 minutes.
71 degrees.
So you could see I can probably get about 2 more muffins out of this. So I can get about 14 muffins out of this. I will make those other 2 later. I'm going to go on to the Streusel topping. See this one, these 2 here, a little bit lighter. So I want to make sure that they're all the same. Okay. If you are freezing these, just let them in the freezer for no more than probably a month and a half. Otherwise, it starts losing its taste.
Aunt Prudy said doing fine in the mid-70s.
In the mid, that's pretty good, better than us. It's hot here. Wow.
Well, no, it's 71 here.
Is it?
Yes, just looked it up.
Wow. When we were out, it felt like it was 80. We were
Probably not a
walking
breeze
in
or
that.
anything.
Yeah, we went for a little walk before this class because we knew what was going to be around later. Okay, so I'm going to take some brown sugar now. I'm going to make the topping for these muffins. I'm going to take a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. So this one, no white sugar. The molasses in this really makes it really good. I want a 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. That right in here. I want 1 teaspoon of the ground cinnamon.
Heather X, what do you do with the food after a class like this one?
I deliver to your house, Heather. She's saying, yay me. Where are you from, Heather? No, you know what? All different things. There are some times where in person, like I have a lot of in-person classes, so sometimes I'll bring these muffins and just kind of give them to the employees. My son's an EMT, give it to them. So all different things. So a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just dinner too. So, but these muffins, they're gonna go in the freezer.
Kristen X, does the baking time change if you make donuts instead?
Yeah, what you have to do is, these are going to take about 25 to 30 minutes, the size that I made right here, okay? If you make a donut, it's going to be a little wider, so it means it's going to be thinner. It may take about 18 to 20 minutes, okay? So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So I'm just going to kind of mix that in really good. And then I'm going to use my hand on this and just kind of make a little crumb topping. Just kind of toss it like this. You can use a fork to mix it if you want. But you know me, how I do it. It's less to clean up, right?
Person said thank you. And Emily X, do you use a toothpick to tell if they're done?
A toothpick is perfect to tell if they're done too. If it comes out clean, it is done. Oh wait, with these muffins here, actually I am going to get just the 12. I am going to take that remaining batter, put it on here, and I'm going to put this brown sugar crumb topping on it. Now, take a piece of aluminum foil, put it on the rack above so it doesn't burn, okay? It's still gonna, the air's gonna circulate, it's gonna be good. So I'm just gonna go back over here, Chris, drop some of this batter. Okay, remember, it's not gonna go over. It's just gonna get higher, this muffin. Scrape everything, because this is such good batter. Now this I have done in person at many of the libraries, and this recipe had rave reviews. So next time we have a food festival, watch one of my classes. I want to know how they came out. I know one person is going to tell me how it came out. Do you know, Chris?
Not exactly sure.
Emily.
Yes.
Emily's going to let me know how it came out. Our son is going to make them tomorrow. There we are. Okay. And now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this crumb topping on here. I kind of just try to guide it. Drop it like that. And you can always go around and kind of pick it up and just kind of move it back onto the muffin when you're done. Now I made a bunch of these this morning, and the other batch I added a little bit more apple, so I ended up getting, I think 14, or actually I got 16. So don't too much apple, but if you want to add a little bit more, you certainly can. I have a pumpkin muffin out there with a cinnamon sugar, so if you want to check that out for YouTube at a lot of the libraries that are on today, they have it. They're right on there. And in 25 minutes they'll be done. Let them cool just a little bit. And these are good any time of the day. So on December 11th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, I have to say Eastern Time because we have many libraries from all over doing our food festivals. So make sure it is 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Double check it, because at first I had put it down as 2 o'clock, but then I said everybody wants to start baking early on, like that Saturday kind of after Thanksgiving or the week after. So I changed it to that. So everybody, this is ready. Need a little more crumb topping here, Chris. Perfect. So these, 375 oven, 25 to 30 minutes. Check it with a toothpick. If it springs back at you, you hit the side of it, hit the top of it, and it feels like it's going to come back. It's done. If your finger feels like it's going to sink in, it's not done. Needs a little more time. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Let me show everybody what a platter of these look like. And hey, brunch could look really good tomorrow, Chris, huh?
Yes.
And this is exactly the way they will look. Okay, so you could see. Nice crumb topping. Nothing in the pan had gone over. Okay, and this one I got 14. A few that I made a little bit smaller and a few that I made a little bit bigger. But they are done. They're very moist and they have really good spice to it. So I'm going to give everybody the menus that we are going to do for the next food festivals. Okay, and if anybody has any questions or comments, let me know. Saturday, October 23rd is our next food festival on Facebook. Go to the library that you're at now, and they have the recipes already. I don't know if they put it out there yet. So, go ahead, Chris.
He said, but he is using my donut pan instead of the muffin.
Absolutely, that's great.
Kirsten said, looks absolutely delish.
Thank you.
Kyle said, that looks amazing. Can't wait to make these. Carrie said, they look really good. Can't wait to try the recipes. Thanks for taking time to show us. And Emily said, but I would tell him to make muffins instead.
Okay.
And Janice said, so excited to try these. Thanks.
Oh, great. Just a few ways to use up some of these apples that are coming in, and they're so good right now. So, October 23rd, I'm doing an autumn garden vegetable soup. Coming into winter, going to use soup. Thanksgiving Day, it's nice to have a little something a little lighter. I'm going to do a chopped fall salad. It's going to have apples, cranberries, and a maple cider dressing. And then I'm also doing a harvest pumpkin crumb cake, and that has a streusel topping on as well. Now on November 6th, I'm doing a class, it's on Facebook Live. It's called Gadgets and Gizmos. And I'm using a lot of the things that I've used over the years. But I want to tell you the pros, the cons of different things. And I bought some things that you may say, I want to buy it for the holidays to give somebody, or I'll let you the reason why don't buy it, okay? It didn't work out for me, okay? And then after the class, I'll send it back if it didn't work out. Because, hey, why hold on to it if it doesn't work out for you? If it works, it's great. Go ahead, Chris.
William said, thanks for sharing these recipes.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Saturday, November 20th, Thanksgiving Food Festival, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, doing a turkey corn chowder. So if you want a new recipe that's really simple, really tasty, to use leftover turkey, perfect. So it's the Saturday right before Thanksgiving. I know it's a big shopping day, but you can either watch it later. Okay, all the libraries keep it up on their Facebook page, or you're certainly welcome to all you libraries. Okay, and pears with mixed greens and dried cherries and pumpkin snickerdoodle cookies. You know what? Sometimes you don't want to make the apple pie or the crumb, the pumpkin pie. These are really, really good. Go ahead, Chris.
Let's see. Emily said, yummy. He just saw them and he said he'll use the muffin pan. Plain Edge Library said, thank you, Chef Rob.
Which library?
Plain Edge.
Plain Edge.
And
Hello, Maggie.
Gail said, thanks to you both. Everything looks wonderful.
Maggie.
Can't wait to try it. And Joy said, thank you. Enjoy your German dinner.
Thank you so much. I love that German food. And then on Saturday, December 11th at 1 o'clock, our holiday baking festival, we're making sprinkle batter cookies. We're making chocolate crackle cookies and blizzard white chocolate cookies. I've never done these recipes before out there, so it'll be the first time doing it for all the different libraries. So I hope you'll bake along with me. I hope we had many people baking today with me. Always go back and re-watch it, because then you're able to kind of work with me as you're making it. I know sometimes when we're doing the food festival, it's hard to keep up, but make one dish with me, and then the others make it a later time, okay? But have all your ingredients all ready. One other thing that we are doing, I'm going to tell everybody, it is on Saturday, October 16th. It is on Zoom. I will put up the libraries that are doing it, because they have a certain amount of spots that they can do since it's on Zoom. 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and it's a harvest pumpkin coffee cake, different from the other pumpkin cake we're going to do, and then also an apple pie streusel bread. It's really high, really moist, really delicious. Okay, so bake along with us. That is a class that people are going to be baking along with us. So we're going to go at a nice slow pace. Go ahead, Chris.
Emily said, Jeffrey loves his apples.
Oh, good. Hi, Jeffrey. I hope you're good.
And Emily said, thank you so very much. Have a great evening at the German Festival.
Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a great day, and thank you for always watching these food festivals. I have a great time doing it. Thanks to Chris. He's great doing this with me, and all you libraries. It's a pleasure. Go ahead, Chris.
Andrea from East Islip said, thanks so much. Great to see your face.
Andrea, how are you? Oh, long time. I hope you and the family are good.